like to welcome you all back to the Shit Behind the Show. As always, I love to start off with some gratitude. Huge thank you to all of you that have followed me on my journey so I can help you with yours. So, today, new topic for the week. I want to discuss the reason, one reason why there's this whole idea that relationships are hard. I kind of hate thinking of it that way because it gives out this negative energy and vibe that in order to have a successful relationship, it's going to be tough and you have to put in all of this work. And it really isn't true. Personal opinion again, if you have two partners who are whole with themselves that are coming together to create a whole relationship, then it can be much easier. However, we all know that takes work. The older we get, the more emotional baggage we have in our emotional backpack, and we have all of this shit to sort through. All of this damage and trauma from past relationships, upbringing, things like that. So I'm going to dive into this a little bit this week and maybe help guide you and help you figure that out within relationship. Again, it takes two. It takes a lot of setting clear boundaries, discovering what the other partner needs and where they come from, and also communicating your needs and where you're coming from. I know, back when I was heavily dating, I can't tell you how many times I heard, I just don't want to talk about the past and exes and blah, blah, blah. I get it. The whole date does not need to be about, oh, poor pitiful me, I got my heart broken, because, we all have at one time or another. After you've already had a great relationship at one time in your life and created a foundation, and then it's been cracked or completely torn down, you've got a story. All of us do. Some are more tragic and hard than others. Some are just like, well, yeah, it just didn't work out. But we all have a story. And I feel like it's very important to share our story with a potential long-term partner in order to express our needs and help them better understand where you come from. I know I'm finally in a relationship where we have done this and we do so. I have been through a lot more, or I should say different hard circumstances and situations than my guy. But he fully understands this. Knowing each other for almost 2 years now, I think we get it. And I'm telling you, don't be afraid to hit that reset button. We have had to do that a couple times, and we are 3.0 better than ever. Sometimes I'm embarrassed, I'm like, yeah, we're trying it again. But I feel like it's super important to share with people that, look, forgiveness is real. And also, if two people really, really care about one another and feel like, yeah, we could have a great thing, then it's a great example of sharing, this is how we've done it, and you can do it too, as long as you put in the work and you have understanding. So one of the reasons that I personally feel like a lot of relationships struggle and maybe don't make it after divorce and breakup and all of the past history, emotional baggage that we carry, I call it my emotional backpack, is the fact that, and I've discussed this with my guy, when we got back together, I was like, look, we are two separate humans coming from two separate backgrounds, raised very differently, and we're trying to come together and fit pieces of a puzzle together, but the pieces are very different right now. We can't quite fit them into place because we don't understand the other. All we know is ourselves. All we know is the stuff that we've been through, what worked in the past and what didn't. So we've got beliefs, we've got false beliefs, we've got love languages, we've got all of these ingredients for this recipe of a great relationship. But you have to communicate your wants and needs, desires, and background. Where you've had your heart broken, there may be some things that I've been through that completely tore me apart, that had he been through that in his past, maybe he has, didn't really affect him the same, and vice versa. So you've got to have this common ground of, okay, I understand that we are very different people, very different backgrounds, very different traumas, very different love languages. He and I don't have that. But it's so important to communicate all of that in order to create a new foundation with someone new. So I think I'm actually pretty grateful for all of the past shit in my life as far as relationships. Well, every area of life actually, but relationship, I'm super grateful because I've experienced so many different scenarios and different ways of trying to figure out people. It's my jam though, obviously. I like to get into people's heads and figure out why they act the way they act. I probably should just go into a different area as far as my professional life, but anyway, I love to figure it out. I feel like I have more empathy and sympathy now because I do understand where people come from, why they act the way they act, the different love languages, the different attachment styles, and why people have those attachment styles, things like that. It's so important to understand your partner. You don't have to know every attachment style or completely understand, everyone's love language until you decide to be exclusive and pursue something long term. But it's kind of fun to expose yourself to all of those, which I have, in order to create a foundation with someone that you really want to have a future with. So when two people come together and have different love languages, I can talk, it can create challenges and miscommunication, because you've got one over here, like I'm all about physical touch and quality time, and they may have a love language of acts of service and gifts. So I'm over here giving them all of the love and affection and quality time when they're over here like, but why isn't she buying me gifts? And why isn't she doing the little things for me? So it can create some tension if you don't understand. And I've heard this so many times in the past with my clients coming to me saying, like, we are just on different pages. I don't understand them. Well, what are their love languages? Well, I don't know. Okay, so you've never discussed what really makes them happy. I make a point to tell my guy, when he does little things for me, like, oh, that's just sexy. Like when you fix my car, when you do things around my house for me, manly things like masculine energy, protect, provide, fix things, make sure I'm taken care of. That is sexy to me. When he's in his masculine, I'm able to be in my feminine, and I'm able to be soft, and I don't have to do the repairs around my house or take care of the repairs on my car or even wash my car. It is like, one, it makes my life easier, but it is just so like sexy to me. It's like, just love this guy because he does those things. So acts of service, I guess, could be one of my love languages, but to the point of, he will come to me and we're both about physical touch and quality time. So that works out very well. But when we first started dating a couple years ago, that was one conversation that we had to have. Okay, so here are the love languages. Which ones do you think best fit you? And then I can keep in mind, okay, he likes quality time, physical touch, acts of service. Most of us have at least 3, if not all 5, but there's an order of importance, right? So again, discuss your love languages. Make sure you communicate. These are my love languages, and next week I will go through all of the love languages and discuss that a little bit more. But have this conversation. Also, understand that people have beliefs and false beliefs due to their background and how they were raised and the different situations that they've been exposed to since dating, divorce, maybe breakup, whatever. So say you've got, well, me, for instance, I've been cheated on more than not, probably in my dating, marriages, in my relationship history. So for me, it is really hard for me to not have that expectation of all men cheat. I have not had that mindset, but there are times that I have this false belief that, well, if the love of my life, the guy that I years ago had children with and I thought the world of, could cheat on me after a 15-year marriage, then, and these other guys that I've dated that I thought they just thought the world of me could cheat, then every guy's going to do it. And it's really a mental block and a mind fuck, really, if I'm being honest, because you want to believe the best in people, but there's this continuous pattern in your past, your emotional backpack, that carries all of this pain still of, but I was cheated on, and you kind of just want to put your guard up. And a lot of times it creates mistrust. I will fully admit the first time I was with my guy a couple of years ago, there wasn't a lot of trust. He displayed some behavior that was very familiar to me from my past, where the men ended up cheating. He and I again have our own past now of hurt, and so we have to now implement tools into the new relationship that we've created to help each other feel more comfortable in, I keep calling 3.0, but it is. And I'm only using my relationship as an example, but I've heard so many couples say, I just feel, even couples that were married for, or have been married for 20 plus years, there was just this disconnect. And ladies and gentlemen, we are always changing and evolving. It may be that 5 to 7 years down the road, your love languages have changed. The way you view your partner has changed. There are definitely times that your partner probably hurt you. As we all know, relationships are not all perfect all the time. It's like all butterflies and rainbows and just happy. There's work involved. Again, I don't like to really focus on the hard, challenging times and the work that you have to put into relationships, because it gives off this negative energy, but it is, you have to put in the effort. And part of that effort is just understanding your partner's beliefs and false beliefs. False beliefs can be detrimental in relationships, of course, because again, you're letting the past seep into the now. So it's super important, as I discussed last week, to discover who self is, to discover love languages with yourself. Some of you may not even know what your love languages are. And to discover what this person inside desires and would like to offer to someone else or has to offer. But these false beliefs can again be a roadblock and get in the way. And again, false beliefs can be anything like, cheating is probably the number one. Maybe someone, as soon as you would get close to them, they had an avoidant attachment style, so they left. I've been with several like that. I've also been that person. So I understand the avoidant attachment and the anxious. I was anxious avoidant for years, and then transitioned into a little bit more anxious, and then again transitioned into avoidant. and then figured my shit out. And now I understand that when I start to feel like, okay, I want to run, I have to really sit with my nervous system, calm down, and remind myself this is just a past experience that's resurfacing, that's making you feel uncomfortable, and it's creating some chaos in your nervous system to where you're like, okay, this feels scary, I want to run. And usually scary, ladies and gentlemen, is when you get to that sweet spot of actually having feelings and everything's going too good. Just so you know, it's not when, oh shit, stuff's falling apart. It's usually in that toxicity of like, ooh, it's going way too good. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Because what are we afraid of? We're afraid of pain and getting hurt again. And if it feels way too familiar, like the past, and you're like finding yourself falling and you want to have a future with this person, you are definitely going to feel your nervous system being disrupted. However, on the flip side, a lot of why people stay in toxic relationships is because, yes, it feels familiar, but it feels safe. They're not going to hurt me. I will always have an exit plan and an exit strategy, which is not healthy at all. Hi, my name's Christine. This is how I used to operate. This is why I know these things. I'm not proud of it. I didn't understand it at the time. This is why I am here to help you, so you don't have to go through the shit or put other people through shit that I did. So, doing a lot of work on myself so I can help you do a little on yourself. I took the back roads so you can take the highway. How about that? Let me just help you with this. There you go. You're welcome. But again, true beliefs, on the other hand, can serve as a foundation for a really strong and fulfilling relationship. Believing in one's worthiness of love, the capacity that you have as well as your partner for growth, the possibility of long-lasting relationship, really honing in on that fantasy of this is what I want, and this person could be that person to fill this space of this partner that I've been seeking. But you have to really have this true belief that I can trust this person. I can give them what they are needing fully with trust and fully with feeling comfortable with the relationship and myself, and also create a positive relationship with the beliefs instead of negative, which means you try to look at your partner with a positive outlook. Holy cow, I can talk today. What the heck? So let me just explain that a little bit. You get into arguments and you can sit back and think, oh, well, they did this on purpose. They said this on purpose. They're not answering me on purpose. Instead of looking at them that way, look at them from a different lens. Look at them in a positive way. Like, I am sure that the reason that my partner is not responding to my text right away is because they are busy. It's nothing to do with they're doing something wrong. And this is just my past creeping in. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt instead of being negative. And really, honestly, it's great in every area of life to go into any relationship, whether it be with family, friends, or romantic, and assume the best intentions. Assume that they aren't out to get you or hurt you. Assume that they do have the best intentions with your heart and in the relationship. This is a true belief, is really honestly assuming the best of intentions. And that, I'm telling you, if you practice this, seriously helps so much when it comes to everyday conflict, arguments, whatever, or the little bit of conflict that in the past would turn into a huge fight really, really stays minuscule. Like, I really feel like my partner and I, we have really gotten there and we are great at this. We still have our days where it's like, oh, you made me mad today, or you hurt me. And we can look at each other and say, are you ready to play nice? Are we good? Mm-hmm. Now, also, with that being said, it doesn't get ugly. We're not mean to one another. We don't call each other names. We're not breaking up over every argument. Some of you are laughing right now. I know you are because you've been there. We sit with the hard feelings. I sit with the nervous system, and I will tell him my nervous system is going insane right now. I need to sit with this. I need to talk to a therapist. I need to calm down because this is my shit, and I don't want to project my shit onto you. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll leave you with this, at the end of the day, we are responsible for our own reactions. We are responsible for what our nervous system feels. We are responsible for how our past seeps into the present and how we respond to our partner, no matter what our partner's doing at the time, right? Even they may still hurt your feelings. You know, I don't like arguing, and neither does he. And are there times where I'm like, you said or did something that hurt my feelings? Yeah, we do it still. We're human. We are human. We can't expect to be in a relationship regardless of how long we've known each other and just have every day be smooth sailing. There's conflict. There are days that we'll have a shitty day, and there are days that we forget that this person standing next to us isn't out to hurt us and really does love us. And we have to remind each other, like, look, I'm still here. It's okay. And sometimes that means calming the other person's nervous system as well. You know, sometimes we have to have compassion and forgiveness and just think, okay, this person is coming from a place of da 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 da. I know their history. I know their past. I understand that this little piece of today, this conflict that we got into, is probably affecting them. So I want to help my partner feel safe. So it's very important, as well as you feeling safe. Sometimes we have to step it up. That's why I like to say relationships are not 50-50. Relationships are 100-100. And you can hear Brené Brown has a video on this. You should go watch it, because there are times that your emotional capacity, mental capacity just can't be at 100. And so you need your partner to step in and take over, and vice versa. You know, there are times that yours isn't, and they will need to step in. So I'm going to leave you today with, find the best of intentions with your partner and create a true belief instead of false beliefs. And I promise that will definitely help with any conflict and help you have the relationship that you desire. Until tomorrow, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Love you all. Bye.